Howdy, Quinn here, or you can also call me Queenie. This is HalloQueenie, and right now it's August. Not usually a month I consider part of summer, but I guess it is a summer month, and in Northern California it is most certainly a summer month, and it is still very hot here. I want to make a couple of outfits, very specifically some Hot Goth Ghoul Summer outfits, and they're all, of course, Glamour Ghoul vintage inspired. And I have a couple of patterns that I'll be using and going over. Like, I'm going to be making a kind of playsuit with this pattern, and then I have another pattern, hold on. I'm also going to be using this pattern, very specifically View B, and I'm going to be making it shorter, and so I have some cool fabric for that. And there may be a third project in here. I don't know yet. We're not there yet. There's a couple fun summer projects that I want to do. I'm going to also have a separate video that's Goth Summer accessories. So I think for the first project, I don't know if I want to start this one first or this one first. I kind of want to do this one first because I know it's going to be relatively easy. And this one's going to be easy too, but it's got two parts because I'm going to be doing kind of a gathered skirt, dirndl skirt situation for it. Oh, let me show you. This is the fabric I'm using for this guy and the gathered skirt. This is a Halloween tablecloth I've been holding on to since last year, and I bought it with the specific intention of turning it into a very 50s style summer playsuit set, which is of course what we're doing now. I want to say there's about 2.5 yards of this. I don't know, I haven't actually measured it. But it's actually quite thick. I could get away with doing like pants out of it, but I don't want pants in a giant gingham like this. So it's gonna be a skirt and a top. Here's my caftan material. It's bats. So this I actually bought for another project as well. I think I was going to do one of those really cool flowy robes, you know, those like negligee robes from the 40s and 50s, but again I didn't do that project, and so I'm using it for this project. I think it'll make a really fun like see-through caftan slash like swimsuit cover up. So yeah, I think it'll do very nicely for that purpose, and I think it'll look very cute. Very spooky, which is what I want. For the third project, I have plans to upcycle some towels of mine into a like bat hooded towel cover-up. I think I want to make that its own video though, so stay tuned. I'll probably pop back in if I figure out a third project I want to do. Floor cutting fabric goblin mode initiated. Other than like pinning and cutting out these large panels, it's pretty easy setup for this project. And I plan to do French seams on everything, so, well, relatively everything that I can do. So like the side seams and the shoulder seams and things like that. Once I had everything cut out, I worked on the top off camera, and then I'm just attaching that to the little waistband piece here. Once I have those attached, I can work on getting the front piece that covers the bust attached to the front part of the caftan. It's kind of hard to describe. These pieces are all very strange shapes. And then, of course, French seaming, like I said. Here, I'm gathering that front part down to attach to the bodice piece. and then sewing those together. This part was a little tricky. I didn't do it as nicely as I should have, and I was kind of confused even watching videos of other people doing it, so I may try a different pattern in the future, or I might try to finesse this in mock-ups before I do another caftan. Just doing some French seams for the shoulder here. Just sewing down the back neck opening for the caftan. Just simple rolling hem and stitching down on that. And there's those little facing pieces that are right at the top neck as well. Taking a much needed hydration break. And going back at it. Here I'm just sewing up the side seams, which are basically the bottom part of the sleeve on the caftan, and I also did French seams there. Pinning and then sewing the sleeve armholes. Again, rolling the hem down twice and then stitching along that. I was kind of nonchalant with my stitching. I mostly used a zigzag stitch for a lot of my top stitching and hems because I thought this fabric was kind of stretchy, but it wasn't really, so I guess I didn't really have to. It just kind of worked out better that I did it that way. And I'm just truing my hem, and again, folding it down twice and sewing along that edge. For the back neck closure, they have you add a little button and make a button loop. I've never made a button loop before, so this was an interesting experience. I probably chose the wrong thread for it. But in the future, I may be lazy and just do a tiny piece of elastic loop that I would sew down instead of making the actual thread loop. And then we're finished. I finished the other thing. I know I haven't really checked in with that, but I finally got it done. It's kind of driving me crazy. I'm not terribly happy with like the hems and everything, but you know what? It's done. It also has kind of a weird fit issue, which, you know, it's a caftan. They shouldn't have fit issues, but somehow it does. On to the second project, which is this guy. I keep waffling about what I actually want to do with it, and I finally decided I'm going to do a dirndl dress. Like that. Although, no, yeah, because it's just such a big print, I think it'll look better. Like a dirndl dress. I'm going to do the skirt differently than the pattern. I'm really just using the top for my nefarious needs. Because essentially what I want is, I'm going to make a button-down dress. So, kind of like what my skirt looks like, if you can see it, but with an attached top as well. And I think I will use that a lot more than a separate skirt and top, because I was thinking about it and I was like, would I wear the top that goes with this with other bottoms? And I realized that I would not. So I'm just gonna make a dress, make it easy. And yeah, so let's get started. So because Gertie's picnic blouse pattern is Patreon content, I'm not going to go too into the construction of it, just to respect her, you know, Patreon content. Just know that I use her picnic blouse in the shorter cropped version, and I do all of the darts and things that are on there the same way. And the things that I'm changing about her pattern is that I'm literally attaching the skirt to it instead of into a separate waistband, and I'm omitting the sleeves. So I changed the way that the shoulders are done completely and how the lining is sewn on, because she has a different method because she has sleeves. So the arm size get finished a little differently in her original pattern and instructions. After I cut out the top, I cut out the skirt. It's pretty easy because they're a nice grid. Normally you shouldn't rely on printed stripes like this, and you should only do this with wovens. I was feeling lucky and it worked out for me because this was a tablecloth, so. Just French seaming yet again the side seams of this skirt. Okay, here's where I'm at. So last night I cut out the skirt and started working on the French seams for the side seams of that. And I have the bodice fashion fabric cut out, but not the lining fabric. I ended up going for, instead of doing the dirndl pattern, I like that pattern, but I don't want a dirndl dress, if that makes sense. I want kind of more of like a sundress that buttons in the front. So I took the free Gertie Charm Patterns picnic skirt and then her Patreon free picnic blouse. So if you want the picnic blouse pattern, you have to support her on Patreon, which I think is totally worth it because she does like at least one free pattern every month, which is crazy. So, and the fact that she does them graded is amazing. I highly suggest that. I've gotten a lot of patterns from supporting her, and so useful. Anyway, so what I'm doing is, instead of doing them as separates like I originally had planned with the conception of this project, the concept of this project, I'm going to have the blouse and the skirt attached because I don't want separates, because I won't wear them as separates. I'll wear them together always, so I'd rather just have a dress. And I don't have any gingham dresses, so I think that'll do very well indeed. So I want to say I'm able to get this done today. I think I will. It's pretty simple. It's like I got, 2 bust darts and 2 in the back, and it's just gathering the skirt down. I think the hardest part will be trying to match up the lines on the front openings and stuff, but this should be fine. Should be super easy. So, oh, the other thing I'm omitting from the picnic top pattern is I'm not doing the little sleeve caps. I don't like cap sleeves. I have kind of broad shoulders and a little bit of like muscleage, also not muscleage, and I've always fought with cap sleeves because of my shoulders, so I just refuse to use them. I'd rather have no sleeves because, again, summer dress. It's hot in California, so I want to take advantage of a nice gingham summer dress. Let's get back to work. Again, hopefully I'll finish this today. I'll check back in later. Next day I did the hem, and then I could do the front facings for the buttons. That's just rolling twice and sewing down straight. Same for the plackets. She has in the instructions really specific measurements for how she wants it. I didn't follow the hem measurements, but I did follow the placket measurements because it fit well with the gingham pattern that I had going. If I paid a little bit more attention, I could have gotten the skirt to line up better with the gingham pattern, but I'm not too mad about it. Once I had the plackets and facings done, I worked on the pockets, because that's the whole fun part about making clothes for yourself, is that you can add pockets to everything. And I thought some cute little patch pockets would do well, and they're part of her original instruction for the picnic skirt, which, by the way, you can find that free pattern on her website, which I will link below. Ironing the pockets to make them a little easier to be sewn down. And then I followed her guide in her instructions for placement. It's a little hard to see because they match the gingham pretty well. I will say I didn't realize until the very end that I had been stitching these on with the widest stitch because I had gathered the skirt before doing this. Whoops. So I may have to re-stitch these pockets down, which is fine because I chose to use a white thread for everything, and I should have used more of a cream or natural color to match the fabric better. You know, lessons for another time. There's the pockets. Okay, now I can start on the bodice. I'm just getting the dart placements, cutting out some lining. Got all that stuff set up. Easy stuff, you know, general dart business where you tie the ends. And then I'm pinning the lining and the fashion bodice together and stitching along to enclose those edges, leaving some seam allowance at the top of each shoulder strap so that I can do those together at their own time. Once that's all set and flipped out, I pin the shoulder straps right sides together, sew along that, leaving the lining completely free, hopefully, and then I will flip those inside each other and then stitch the lining closed so it kind of encases everything inside. It's a pretty nice method for finishing sleeveless arm size, I would say. Okay, so at this point, the top is basically done. I just need to do some top stitching and then attach the skirt to the top and encase the raw edge with the lining, and then buttons and buttonholes. So I think if I really push through, I can finish it tonight. Otherwise, I don't know. The plan was to potentially wear this tomorrow, but I may skip that and wear my other thing that I made. I'm trying to think about it. I think I do want to wear my other thing, so maybe I won't push so hard. We'll see. I think I at least want to get the skirt attached and see where we're at from there. Let's go. And now I'm just gathering the skirt down to fit the waistband and pinning in place and stitching along that, following my seam allowance. I did the buttonholes before I sewed the lining down to the inside, so here I'm just whip stitching the lining over the raw edges of the gathered skirt edge. And then I just have to sew buttons on and it's all done. So, final thoughts. You know, I should have probably gone a size up in the caftan because if you can tell, which you can, the shoulder seam lies really front forward on me. And I don't know if that's just because I have kind of broader shoulders or because my bust is a little larger than they were anticipating. But for a garment that's supposed to fit a lot of different sizes, this fits really strange in strange places, which is on me for not doing a mock-up, whatever. I'm not too worried about it. I actually have enough of this material I could really make a second one if I really cared that much about it. But it's fine. I also, this is my first time working with this kind of weird, it's not quite organza, it's not quite chiffon, I'm not really sure, maybe like a tricot kind of thing, but with no stretch. It's, you know, part of it was the machine I was using too. My normal machine with all the stickers on it had been under the weather for a while, and I fixed it and now it works. Yay. So I was using my old Singer tradition, which is kind of It's a good first machine, but once you get used to a better machine, it's pretty terrible to work with because there's like no needle threader. Anyway, I'm not going to go too into that. I'm used to different luxuries in a machine, and that machine does not have it, and it kind of just is a power horse and not a very delicately skilled horse. So would I do this differently? I also had like some weird stuff in here. Most of that was user error. I don't really blame the pattern too much. I was kind of confused, and even watching videos of other people doing this pattern, I was a little confused. So maybe if I do a caftan in the future, because I do want to do an even baddier caftan. I want to do like a black velvet one that's got like kind of batwing shapes along the sleeve here and like longer sleeved. So if I do that, I'll do that in the future. And I may do a different caftan pattern, or I may fuss with this one until it does what I want. Other than that, love this. I wore it already. I had a date with my boyfriend. No one else. I had a date, a date day, where we went Halloween hunting, and so I wore this to do that, which was fun. Felt like the perfect outfit, other than the hat. I didn't wear the hat. It was feeling too shy to do the hat, because clearly this reads as shy. The other dress I just finished. It took me a little bit. I got my machine up, so I was able to use the buttonholer on that. And I need to do like one thing to the straps to make it fit better, actually. So on it, I just need to literally shorten the straps, and then it'll fit perfectly. But I actually really love this. For a tablecloth, the material has like a nice heaviness to it. It kind of feels like those old 90s denim dresses, and I'm really loving it. I think I might do more of these kinds of dirndl style with the Gertie pattern that I used, and just make a note that I need to shorten the straps, because I really like how that turned out. And I like the dart placement on it. She does a really good job with the bigger bust sizes, I would say, at least in my experience. The only thing, yeah, weird that I need to shorten the straps. I've never had that with a pattern before, because again, I'm kind of broad-shouldered. So 2 projects with weird shoulder shit going on, but couldn't be happier with the fit on that guy. I'm very, very happy. Those buttons also took forever to sew on. So if I do any fixes, I'm not doing it on camera, sorry. It's going to be the same process as how I did the shoulder seam earlier on that, so yep. Hopefully I can get some crafts done and do a summer Glamour Ghoul craft video. We'll see. I've also been streaming, so check me out on Twitch, Queenie. I will have the links down below. I've been kind of randomly streaming different things. Like I did an Animal Crossing stream, and then I did a Sims 4 stream, and I'll probably be doing more of both, just depending on my mood. And I did last year's stream a little bit too, which I was sewing, which I plan on also doing more crafting and sewing streams. Links below. If you got this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more of this kind of spooky, vintagey content, subscribe. And if you want, and yeah, have the time, put a like on the video and comment down below. You know, really anything, I'll answer probably. Comment, you know, if you could make your dream summer goth wardrobe, what would you make? I'll see you next time. Stay spooky.